We got to talk about this. The link to the latest episode of News Nation's brand new smash podcast hit called Reality Check with Ross Coulthart. It is live. You can scan the QR code right here at the bottom of your screen or visit News Nation's website or YouTube page to get that link directly. But Coulthart's podcast digs into the truth about UFOs and what the American government knows about them. The new podcast premiered just this month with the first episode centering around the Pentagon's Arrow report and its findings. The second episode is how Congress is responding to that very report. So joining me now is News Nation special correspondent himself, Ross Coulthart. Ross, good to have you on, sir. I understand you spoke with News Nation's Washington, D.C. correspondent, Joe Khalil, about the push for more congressional attention on UAPs. What did the two of you find out and uncover?
Well, firstly, good morning, Marky. Yes, it's very interesting being able to speak to Joe because he's the guy, of course, who walks the halls of Congress for News Nation and talks directly to the politicians who are the ones that have to make a decision about whether they develop a spine on the issue of UAPs. We're all waiting to see, just to paint a bit of a backdrop here for you. At the moment, we're all recoiling from the effect of the Pentagon's recent Arrow Historical Review Report, which is a report that was published by the Pentagon's UFO investigation team, which effectively said there was no evidence of any extraterrestrial presence on this planet. There was no secret reverse engineering program, and moreover, it inferred very strongly that it was a bit of a waste of time to spend too much more time looking at the issue. The big question is Congress going to buy it? Are they going to accept that kind of cover-up nonsense, which I think it is? And this is the thing that we were discussing with Joe in the program. Joe and I both think that Congress is actually far more motivated and far more interested in this subject than it's letting on publicly.
Yeah. I also have heard that there's a push from some lawmakers to actually form a committee, right, or a caucus that would help answer some of those unanswered questions about UFOs and UAPs. How likely is Congress to form such a committee, especially during an election year where there are a lot of big ticket items on the table to focus on?
Well, Marky, just to give us all a history lesson, the last time Congress had a really aggressive committee that did oversight of the intelligence community and the Defense Department was back in the 80s during the Iran-Contra affair and the Warren Commission. And there's a push on for a similar kind of UAP select committee, looking at what it is that the Pentagon and the intelligence community really know about this subject. What are they hiding? Now, we all know they are hiding something. In fact, there's a new poll out, I think, last week, which shows that well over 60-something% of Americans believe that the US government knows a lot more than it's letting on about UAPs. But the big question is whether a UAP select committee will be allowed to be opened within the coverage of the Oversight Committee, which is the main House Oversight and Accountability Committee. And the big hope is that that committee will be given the powers it needs, the security clearances it needs to start putting the blowtorch on the Pentagon and the intelligence community to get these questions answered.
Yeah, and if a select committee is formed to see what their first order of business would be. As I mentioned off the top, Ross, this is your second episode of the show. I'm just curious what the response has been to it so far.
Massive. I mean, I'm very flattered and gratified. I think we're well over 600 and something thousand views already on the show, and there's a lot of people who are passionately interested in the UAP subject. I rather fear the Pentagon and the intelligence community that are trying to sit on this story are hoping it's all going to go away, that people will stop asking questions. But if my inbox and if News Nation's inboxes are any indication, there is enormous public interest in this issue. People want answers.
Absolutely. Your podcast isn't going away anytime soon. Congratulations on the success thus far. Ross Coulthart, good to see you.
Thank you, Marky.
And you can watch Reality Check with Ross exclusively online. Just scan this QR code right here at the bottom of your screen or visit News Nation's website or our YouTube page. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.